Fox Sports.
We are Black Hawk. We are Wisconsin.
So far, so good for the Milwaukee Brewers, and beautiful San Francisco wins Thursday night as well as last night. Since the Brewers up for Game 3 of this 4-game set with the San Francisco Giants on a beautiful Saturday here in San Francisco. Made even better by the arrival of Mike Moustakas coming over in the trade last night from the Kansas City Royals, and he gets right into the mix. He'll be starting at third and hitting third in the Brewers batting order as his buddy Travis Shaw will move over to second. So they shuffle the infield, but they get a potent bat, to say the least, in the Milwaukee Brewers lineup. Good evening from inside AT Park. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minert is our reporter. Well, all the speculation about who they're going to get. Would be another pitcher. Will it be a bat? They got a big boy bat last night, Rock, with Mike Moustakas. Just adds to what it can be a very potent lineup to begin with.
Yeah, it adds a lot of length. I mean, 1 through 6 right now, even without Ryan Braun in the lineup, as good as it gets as far as power goes. Mike Moustakas, 38 home runs last year, had 20 this year. He's a big-time run producer. He has the experience in the postseason, back-to-back World Series. Royals even won a World Series, and in talking to Moustakas, very excited about being here in Milwaukee. He had a lot of talks with Ned Yost and Dale Swaim, Jason Kendall over there with the Kansas City Royals. He is pumped up to be back in a pennant race, and good to see him in the lineup here today.
And Travis Shaw getting a little tutorial from Carlos Subero, the first base coach who gets things organized in the infield. This will be his first career start at second base, but he's excited about it as well. That's a pretty good offensive group now around the infield for the Brew Crew. Johnny Cueto, Yolis Chacin, the pitching matchup as the Brewers try to make it 3 straight. First pitch coming up on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Play with already, and they've told me how great this organization is, how great this team is, and how much fun they have. And obviously they're winning a lot of ball games. So I'm just trying to come and help out, do what I can, and just keep going out there, help win the ball games.
The newest Brewer, Mike Moustakas, and we will see him here in this first inning. Game 3 at AT Park, San Francisco, California. Brewers getting wins on Thursday night, as well as last night. The Potawatomi batting order: Yelich, Kane, Moustakas at the top. Aguilar hits cleanup. Shaw, Thames, Kratz, Arcia, and Chacin rounding out the batting order. And we are underway as Johnny Cueto on the mound for the Giants.
Yeah, Cueto missed May and June, missed 61 games with a right elbow strain. I think the Giants feel as though they kind of dodged the bullet. The speculation was he might need Tommy John surgery, but he's back on the mound. 3-1 at 276 earned run average.
One of the outstanding pitchers, and he has given the Brewers a lot of trouble in his career. He's faced him one time last year, had a no decision, and you see his numbers here in 2018. Limited numbers, as Rock talked about. And yeah, there was genuine concern that they might have to shut him down entirely, but not the case. As he opens up against Christian Yelich, hitting at the top of the order, and there's that Louis Tiant-like delivery. He'll give you a little bit of everything out there.
Yeah, just trying to keep you off balance. He'll quick pitch you, he'll drop down, he'll give you that turn the back to you. Doing anything he can to disrupt your timing.
32 years old now, Johnny Cueto, and the 2-2 pitch to Yelich. And a bouncing ball to Allen Hansen, and there's the first out of the night.
Yeah, check out the Giants defensively. Have not been very good. They lead the National League in double plays, 107 of them. Hernandez, Duggar, and McCutchen in the outfield. Longoria, Crawford on the left. Hansen, Sandoval on the right side, and Nick Hundley behind home plate tonight. No Buster Posey in the starting lineup.
There's a look at Hundley, who struck out to end Thursday night's game. Corey Knebel got him looking. A couple of saves in this series for Knebel. A little choppy on Thursday, but a very effective last night and a good pitching matchup. The Brewers won via small ball action. It was effective, pretty to watch. Here's Lorenzo Cain back in the lineup tonight. Had the day off, or the night off last night. He got banged around a little bit on Thursday night. Stealing a base, landing hard on his right wrist, and also he might have tweaked his knee on a swing. So they had him rest last night and right back in there tonight. And he stings one into center field. So if you're wondering if he's okay, right there is your answer.
Yeah, it just hits a bullet, a changeup from Johnny Cueto. He's going to throw a lot of changeups, a lot of sliders. He doesn't throw nearly as hard as he used to. I mean, his cruising speed about 89, 90, and there's one right down the middle. Lorenzo hits it hard into center field. The Brewers have been putting some pretty good swings on the Giants in this series. They have not hit the home run ball much, but they haven't needed it.
And now the newest Brewer, Mike Moustakas. 20 homers, 62 driven in with the Kansas City Royals. He was last year's American League Comeback Player of the Year. Put up monster numbers, attacking the first pitch and lifting it into center field. Steven Duggar shields his eyes from the sun, and we have two men out.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch. Well, the big bat is here. It's Mike Moustakas, a big left-handed hitter. 20 home runs this year. Actually hit 2 of them against the Brewers in that 4-game series. Yeah, great changeup for Johnny Cueto. You're going to see a lot of them, and the slider. And the Brewers with Jhoulys Chacin on the mound, all they do is win 15-7. Outstanding work for Chacin for the Brewers this year.
Yeah, it has been quite the pickup. Made by David Stearns with all the fanfare, and rightly so, with giving Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich. Chacin has taken the ball at every turn and has performed well, and he has pretty good numbers against the Giants. Here is Jesus Aguilar. Those hits he had came on Thursday night. Ball, a strike to Jesus. 1 out single from Cain as we are just getting started here in San Francisco. 2 down here in inning number 1. And Jesus with a chopper to Brandon Crawford. do it for the Brewers in the first. A hit they get, they leave a man. Time for Chassin to take them out. First, and the third game of this 4-game weekend series, Brewers and the Giants. Brew Crew getting win number 60 last night. Here's the Giants batting order presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Andrew McCutchen at the top of the order. It's been a while. He will lead things off. Stephen Duggar, Brandon Crawford follow. Evan Longoria hits cleanup. Sandoval, Hanson, Hernandez, Hundley, and Johnny Cueto rounding out the San Francisco batting order, and that's the look that will face Yolis Chassin.
Yeah, Chassin making start number 23. We mentioned that the Brewers are 15-7 in his first 22 starts, a .358 earned run average. Chassin's 5-1 away from Miller Park in 13 starts. Making start number 21 against San Francisco. He's got an 8-7 record.
It's been a while for McCutchen at the top of the order, 7 seasons in fact. He primarily has hit third in his career. And that one got him. It just brushed him, and he gets hit by a pitch to open the home half of the first.
See Pratt setting up outside, and he misses badly. Must have just got the sleeve of the jersey.
Best way to get hit. Even he's smiling about it. I don't think the Brewers are convinced that that hit him.
Well, the angle that we saw on our replay, you really couldn't tell. You couldn't see actually the baseball or where it hit McCutchen, unless the Brewers have a different angle.
The umpire crew here tonight. Sam Holbrook, the crew chief, over at third this evening. So McCutchen, the runner at first, and Stephen Duggar at the plate. Duggar had been at the top spot, but Bruce Bochy moving him down a notch in the order as their lineup shuffled a bit here this evening. Trying to find some offense in their own right. We talk about that with the Brewers from time to time, and it's been a similar story with the Giants here, especially of late.
Makes it a little bit more difficult when you don't have Posey in the lineup, though.
Big time.
And moving guys around, putting them in different spots. Maybe get better pitches to hit. We'll see. It's all a manager can do.
Posey was at the plate in a big spot last night. Jeremy Jeffress able to retire Posey on a ground ball with the bases loaded. It was a one-run game at the time. And McCutcheon on the move. Throw down to second, and Kratz is throwing plenty of time as Arcia applies the tag for out number one.
And it looked like a delayed steal. Didn't fool anybody, particularly Kratz. He threw that one from his knee. Boy, what a throwing arm for Eric Kratz. Check it out. Delayed steal. Kratz right on the money, and McCutcheon not even close. And easy out at second base. Pretty good throwing arm.
Yeah, that's big time. It's the fifth runner Kratz has thrown out this season. As they erase Andrew McCutcheon. 3 balls, 1 strike to Steven Duggar, the center fielder. And Chassin gets the corner.
Maybe a little bit off. Ryan Blakeney, the home plate umpire.
I tried to say that with a straight face.
Yeah, trying to be diplomatic, my friend. That wasn't a strike.
And a ground ball to Arcia. This will be out number 2.
Well, the Brewers, as they line up defensively, a different look tonight. You got Thames, Kane, and Yelich in the outfield. That's not the different look. As Travis Shaw at second base has never made a start in the big leagues at second. Moustakas at third. You got Arcia at short. Jesus Aguilar at first, and Eric Kratz behind home plate. Anxious to see Travis Shaw at second at base tonight. Working hard before the game, taking ground balls and turning double plays.
And you have to figure, as that old line goes, the ball finds you. Moustakas handling things over at third. Brandon Crawford at the plate. And Shaw telling reporters last night he has not played second ever in his baseball life at any level.
And very quietly, Shaw had been taking some ground balls for a while now, waiting for a potential opportunity for Craig Counsell to put him over there. Well, here it is. You really bolster that offense. You might weaken your defense a bit at second base, at least initially.
The ball, a strike to the shortstop, Brandon Crawford. While it's true, Shaw can, in certain defensive alignments as a third baseman, flip over to the right field side of the bag, the right side of the bag at second. This is still a different animal for him. But he has been in that general vicinity this season in certain defensive shifts. Breaking ball from Chassin to even the count. Craig Counsell and his ball club getting some thump, some more thump in the lineup.
Yeah, 1 through 6, as good as any 1 through 6 lineup in baseball.
2-2 pitch to Crawford, and a full count to the Giants shortstop. Well, he's looking for a win number 10 on this season. He's pitched well here at AT&T Park. 4-1 record and a 2.02 ERA.
This is a great park to pitch in.
Payoff pitch to Crawford. And that slider, a little tapper back to Yolis. And a inning-ending ground out here as a walk quickly erased, and we are scoreless through 1.
Head to the top of the second, and it's another 5-County Friday as the Brewers host the Rockies in the first of a 3-game series. Friday, August 3rd, all 5-County residents can save 50% on tickets, and you can book yours by heading to brewers.com/5-County.
Top half of inning number 2. Travis Shaw will lead things off. Shaw, Thames, and Eric Kratz against Johnny Cueto. Brewers enter tonight's game 1 game behind the Cubs. Cubs fell to the Cardinals earlier this afternoon as Shaw pops one up. Longoria will squeeze it for the first out. 6-2 Cardinals win over the Cubbies today. Grand slam in the first inning from Marcell Ozuna, and that's how it looks. Brewers with the second best record in the National League, and now just 1 full game behind the Cubs.
Pittsburgh, St. Louis, 7 and 8 games back respectfully. Pittsburgh 8-2 in their last 10 games.
And leading the Mets tonight 3-0 in the top of the 8th inning in Pittsburgh. And the Pirates, that week prior to the All-Star break, took a big step in turning their season around.
11 straight wins.
Still a few days away to the non-waiver trade deadline. Brewers making a couple of moves this week, getting Joakim Soria for the White Sox, and of course Mike Moustakas last night. Made that announcement official right after the final out of last night's game here in San Francisco.
Yeah, guys were pumped up about that move. I mean, getting that big left-handed bat. Mike Moustakas, pretty good third baseman as well. Organization showing these players, all right, this is what you need. Let's go get the division now. And that's what players are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely.
That kind of support, and the Brewers able to provide it.
Yeah, that message applied. They are serious. This ball club, if you had any doubt, you shouldn't anymore.
Yeah, trading away Brett Phillips, prospect, outfielder, and Jorge Lopez going to Kansas City.
There's that countdown clock. Ames looks at strike 2 called. Yeah, with Brett Phillips, obviously a terrific arm. Yeah, we saw flashes at the plate. You think back a couple of weeks ago in Pittsburgh, he had the big 4 RBI day. Thames gets into one into right field. This is going to go all the way to the fence. Big man on his way to second. And Thames has a 1-out double here in inning number 2.
Yeah, guys need to wait back tonight. I mean, Johnny Cueto used to be, mid-90s fastball with that terrific changeup. Well, he's not throwing all that hard these days. I mean, hitting 90, 91. There's a changeup from Cueto. You're going to see a ton of those tonight. And Thames able to wait back and rip one off the wall. A 1-out double. Actually, yeah, 1-out double.
105 miles per hour off the bat of Eric Thames. The Brewers with a runner in scoring position for the first time tonight as Eric Kratz steps to the plate. He and Pena tag teaming this weekend. Kratz had to start Thursday night, Manny last night. In fact, Kratz had a couple of hits on Thursday, drove in a run. Brewers took the opener 7-5, and last night 3-1. Chase Anderson and Madison Bumgarner picked up in a good one.
Yep, single runs in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings for the Brewers. Brewers did not hit a home run last night.
Saw the debut of Joakim Soria. Kept the Giants off the board in his inning. Jeremy Jeffress got into a whole lot of trouble, but worked his way out of it and Knebel a 1-2-3 9th inning. Turned into a good night on the field and off the field for the Brewers. The ebb and flow of a season. This team stumbled into the All-Star break and then split the games in the homestand. This trip with a long way to go, but certainly for Craig Counsell's team off to a good start.
Yep. And thanks to the pitching. The pitching's been terrific.
2 balls, 1 strike to Eric Kratz.
Pitching's been good. They added Matt Albers to the active roster. He's in the bullpen tonight. So an already very good bullpen just got better. Soria and Albers added.
There's a look at Matt right back into the fray now. We'll need him. Jeffress has worked the last 2 games, as has Knable. The 3-1 pitch to Kratz. And this is in the air, shallow right field. That's going to drop in front of McCutcheon. Here comes Thames. Brewers first on the board. RBI single for Eric Kratz.
Yep, good read by Thames. He knew that ball was going to drop all the way, took off, and Eric Kratz with a jam shot down the right field line to get the Brewers on the board. Great Counsel still looking for consistent production. Bottom of the order. Another changeup from Cueto. Kind of tailed in on Kratz, but able to fight it off down the line and right.
So Milwaukee strikes first, and here's Orlando Arcia. And he's going the other way. Is Hanson a sliding stop, but the throw not in time. Infield single for Arcia, as he fights one through the right side, or to the right side, and the Brewers have runners at first and second.
Yep, Orlando with a base hit last night. Also had an RBI. Good to see the bottom of the order, getting on base. Gives Chassin an opportunity to drop down a bunt. Just kind of fights one off, goes the other way. Hanson just not able to get enough on the throw.
Chassin tries to lay one down, but a foul ball. I mentioned the small ball. We do see, obviously, in this game, pitchers bunting. You don't see position players bunting, but Manny Pena laid one down last night, and it was pivotal. Hernan Perez up a base. He eventually scored on the Arcia ground ball in the 7th inning. And Chassin pushes one to Longoria. Sacrifice complete. Out number 2 with runners at second and third. Good work by Yolis Chassin.
Helping himself, able to advance base runners for Christian Yelich.
An 11-game hitting streak now for Yelich, 24 for 46 in that stretch. He has 5 hits already in this series. He's been as hot as anyone in the game. A couple of doubles last night. Walked as well.
Putting the ball in play, very important in situations like this. Yelich not only getting a lot of hits, but driving in a lot of runs.
Those 54 RBIs does Yelich. Homered on Thursday, one of his 3 hits. With runners in scoring position, he has been especially dangerous here in 2018. Hitting .321 in spots just like this. A ball, a strike. In the air to right field. McCutcheon will have to play it on a hop. Kratz is in. Here comes Arcia. Throw is cut off. Yelich to second, and he will be out at second. Sandoval cut it off, and applying the tag is Crawford, but the Brewers get a couple of runs. Yelich, a 2-run single. Part of a 3-run second inning for the Brew Crew. So Yelich extends his hitting streak, and the Brewers have an early lead in San Francisco.
3-0 lead over the Giants, and they have their new third baseman Mike Moustakas in the lineup for his debut at third base here tonight. And Moustakas joined the team here this afternoon after what he said was a whirlwind 24 hours. The Royals were rained out in Kansas City last night. He was at dinner with his wife in New York when he got the call from general manager Dayton Moore that he had been traded to Milwaukee. So he said that set off obviously a number of calls and texts, but he said he is so excited to be here with the Brewers organization to join this team. He obviously has a number of connections with former teammates Lorenzo Cain, Jeremy Jeffress. He's good friends with Ryan Braun as well, so he says he's heard a lot about just what a great team this is, how much fun, obviously having played this team earlier in April as well. So he's happy to be here and said he gives a lot of credit to Travis Shaw to moving over to second base to open up the third base spot for him, but also said he'd be willing to try out second as well. He's just one of those team guys willing to do whatever this team needs him to do in order to win games and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's interesting, Sophia. I think you got a taste of it. Rock, we did too. You talked with Mike Moustakas for about 30 seconds and you realized the value.
Yeah.
The obvious run production, but other things. There's a tough chance for Travis Shaw. That's not that tough for him. There is out number one. The ball found him here in inning number two.
Yeah, he just wants to win. I mean, that's been his reputation. You know, you talk to guys like Ned Yost, Dale Swaim, Jason Kendall over with the Kansas City Royals. They say he's a gamer. He wants to win games, whether he's 0 for 4 or 4 for 4. He just wants to win, and that's all you can ask from a player. I mean, you can bring a guy over here, and if that's all he wants to do, that's the kind of guy you want.
Jumps right back into a pennant race. He knows what that is all about. Pablo Sandoval now the hitter.
Heard some very good things about Craig Counsell, the organization in general, from those three that I just mentioned.
Yeah, no doubt. Very complimentary of that group. Dale Swain gives a lot of credit to, straightened some things out as he was making a name for himself in the big leagues with the Royals. The ball, a strike to Sandoval. Back in the lineup at first base, Brandon Belt on the disabled list. Tweaked his knee, did Belt earlier in the week in a game against the Seattle Mariners. So Bruce Bochy, much like Craig Counsell, much like probably every manager in the big leagues, navigating through their share of injuries. A liner is snagged by Arcia for out number two.
Yeah, Brandon Belt's been their most productive hitter this year as far as home runs, RBIs, 14 homers, 43 RBIs. Brandon Crawford not far behind. And with Buster Posey out of the lineup, that's a lot of offense that's not in the lineup against Chacín tonight.
Two up, two down in the second. Giants a game under 500, 52 and 53. They're still in the mix, maybe more on the fringe in the playoff chase, but they had a good month of June, winning 18 times, and a little more up and down here in the month of July.
Yep, they've lost 3 straight. One thing you want to do with a team that has a losing streak, jump on them early, which is what the Brewers have been able to do.
2 balls, no strikes to Alan Hansen. When we say the Giants are on the fringe, they're 5 back in the wild card race, but they have to sift through a lot of traffic. 5 teams that are in pursuit of Arizona as we speak, and it's still late July, but the Brewers have the best record among the wild card teams right now. The Diamondbacks have a half-game lead over the Braves and the Rockies. Bouncing ball to Aguilar, and Chacín has himself a 1-2-3 second inning. We are through 2 in Frisco. It's 3-0 Milwaukee.
the sound of Mr. Baseball every time you crack open a bottle. On Sunday, August 5th, all fans at the Brewers series finale against the Rockies will get a Bob Uecker talking bottle opener. That's courtesy of Palermo's Frozen Pizza. For tickets, go to brewers.com.
Tell all your friends you got a party and Uke's going to be there. You're telling the truth.
At least his voice.
That's right. Brewer fans liking the starts that their team has gotten off to tonight. 3 runs in the second inning. Lorenzo Cain will lead off here for the Brew Crew. A couple of former Royals in the 2 and 3 spots in the Brewers batting order now. Moustakas will follow Cain, and then it's Aguilar. 1-1 pitch. Start number 9 for Cueto. A 20-game winner with the Cincinnati Reds 4 years ago. One of 2 All-Star seasons for Cueto. He's an All-Star with the Giants 2 years ago. And Cain with a base hit as he goes opposite field. Good start here to the 3rd.
And the Brewers have had a lot of trouble against Cueto in his career. 22nd start for Cueto against Milwaukee. He's 11-3. Brewers off to a good start tonight.
Yeah, 8 wins against the Brewers in his last 9 starts. It has been a while since the Brewers have knocked him off, but the cast of character is considerably different now in this Brewers lineup than what Cueto dealt with, and successfully so. Has not had a losing decision, though, in nearly 6 calendar years against the Brewers.
Isn't that something?
That's impressive work.
A guy that's very entertaining to watch pitch, particularly when he's on his game. I mean, he was usually mid-90s with the fastball, that terrific changeup, slider, varies his deliveries. A guy that, you know, always looked like he was really enjoying himself out on the mound.
Yeah, he was. One of the best pitchers around. He, for a time, would take his turns. 32, 33, 34 starts. Only 25 last year. Dealt with blister issues, and talked about the arm trouble this year as he faces Mike Moustakas, who pops this one up. And Cueto will give way to Evan Longoria, and that's out number 1. Go back to Cueto's success against the Brewers these last several years. And he's been tough against any number of ball clubs, but there you see the trouble he has given Milwaukee.
And 197 earned run average. Look at the opponent batting average, just a touch over 200. And gave everybody fits. I mean, change up one after another, and he'll throw them until you prove to him that you're going to hit it. And he's got a dandy.
There's your point. You're talking about the fastball velocity and how it has dropped in these last few years. One out, one on into 3rd. Cueto facing Jesus Aguilar. Grounded to short in the 1st. That's in there for strike 1. .25 home runs, 1 step behind Nolan Arenado now. Rocky Star with 26 driven in. Or 26 home runs, I should say. He has driven in Arenado 74. Let's check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Jesus is 25, still leads the way for the Brewers. Travis Shaw hit number 19 on Thursday night. Yelich number 14 on Thursday night. Thames of Braun rounding out the Powerball home run leaderboard.
He'd add Moustakas to that list.
Yes, sir.
He's got 20. Those 20 home runs belong to the Brewers now.
Yes, they do. See if we can add a whole bunch to that moving forward.
Right.
That's already among the best in the National League at going deep. Adds another thumper to the lineup. 1-1 pitch to Aguilar and a ground ball to Crawford. Chance to get 2. There's Hansen for 1. That is a 6-4-3 double play. Inning over for the Brewers. They do nothing with a Kane leadoff single. Still 3-0 Milwaukee in the third. You look at the newest Brewer, Mike Moustakas. Brewers getting him for the Royals in exchange for Jorge Lopez and Brett Phillips. And you know, you meet Brett Phillips, about 2 seconds after you meet him, you realize he's a great dude. And here's what he put out on his Twitter account last night. He's feeling the love and will be forever grateful for his time in Milwaukee. Great opportunity, though, for him, Rock, as we look at the rest of that tweet.
Yeah, not much of a chance for him in the outfield for the Brewers this year, probably next year with Kane, Yelich. Going to be around for a long time. And, yeah, he's going to get some playing time with the Royals now. Going to be able to show what he can do on an everyday basis, you think.
Borges Hernandez leading off here for the Giants. So, yeah, you certainly wish nothing but the best for both Phillips and Jorge Lopez. And Jorge, you know, he was up and down between the Brewers and Colorado Springs. But you know, there were some ball games where he gave Counsell some innings that helped the following night and the game after that, and games that were getting away. But he could give this club 2 innings, 3 innings. And there's a lot of value to that. And we'll see what the future holds for him in this Royals organization.
Well, and it's a trade that you would do every single time. If you had it to do 100 times, you'd do it 100 times.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the position the Brewers are in. Win now, and Brett Phillips is a guy that has a chance to establish himself now.
Well, when you mentioned it a couple innings ago, I was going to ask you about it anyway. Just the, you know, there's all, as fans, we love to speculate on what's going on, and couldn't help but be excited with the acquisition of Moustakas. But you mentioned it, what it means in the clubhouse, how that resonates. Like, okay, we're in with both feet now. Let's
kind of reminds you of the the sentiment that 2008, when they picked up CC and an impact player like Sabathia. You get an impact player like Moustakas. He brings 20 home runs to the table. And the Brewers are looking for some offense, and they certainly got it with Moustakas.
Just checking us out here tonight, Travis Shaw getting his first opportunity at any level at second base. And a bouncing ball to Aguilar. Busting over there is Chassin for the feed, and out number 1.
And nice job by Aguilar getting it to Chassin quickly so he can catch it and then find the bag. Boy, Aguilar does that play. He works that play extremely well. Watch how quickly he gets it to Chassin. He can grab it and find the bag at first. If you delay just a little bit, that's going to be a tough play. Catch the ball, find the bag at the same time. And they got the out.
1 away in the third. So far, Chassin has given up, allowed just 1 base runner. He clipped Andrew McCutcheon, who's hitting leadoff tonight. And McCutcheon was caught stealing, and that has been it here in the early going for the Giants, with Hundley at the plate. And a chance for Orlando Arcia. Showing off that arm, 2 up, 2 down.
This is a game where you're not going to see a lot of velocity, at least from your starters. You're talking 89 to 91, 2 miles an hour between Cueto and Chacin, but they move the ball around pretty well. They can shape the fastball. They've got good off-speed stuff. This is a night where if you like to watch a guy just execute pitches and not just try and throw the ball by guys, this is your game tonight.
A couple of crafty right-handers. You hear it, crafty left-handers a lot. You got 2 crafty right-handers. You know, when Zach Davies is healthy, he would fit that as well.
Right.
Not a blow-by pitcher, but cause a lot of trouble. Pitcher versus pitcher here is Cueto at the plate. Chastain ahead in the count. 2 strikes and nothing. And the 0-2 pitch. We're mentioning Phillips. We were wondering whether he would get in there, get to New York in time, but he has not been in the lineup for the Royals today. They're playing a doubleheader with the Yankees. Kansas City won the first game and they lead the second. But the opportunity will be there. Breaking ball gets Cueto looking as Chacin has set down 8 straight. We are through 3. Brewers lead 3-0.
Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Back in San Francisco, the Brewers have a 3-0 lead as we head to the 4th here at AT Park. Travis Shaw leading off the inning, making his first career start at second base, a position he has never played before. He did play shortstop in high school, but talking to manager Craig Counsell about the transition for Shaw, he said he didn't anticipate any problems on just routine plays or regular ground balls. He said the biggest challenge for Shaw will be turning double plays. It's just a place where he doesn't have the game experience. He obviously hasn't gone through it yet, but what he thinks will happen faster for him is just the transition overall of where you're supposed to be, lining up on the bag, footwork, etc. So he said he is a baseball rat. He has adapted to things very quickly, and he said as much as you can try to talk to Shaw about different situations, he said kind of like Ryan Braun moving over to first base, experience will be the best teacher for him. And he did give Shaw a lot of credit, saying that for as much as the Brewers shift, he said Shaw has been kind of a key player in that. He's always been on top of the shifting, at times leading the team in their terms of their alignment and their positioning. So Counsell and Shaw were both confident that he'll adjust to the position fairly quickly.
All right, Sophia is a soft liner out into shallow right field, snagged by Alan Hansen for out number 1. I've got to think it's a great opportunity here for Travis Rocky. You know, He can prove a lot of people wrong. He knows, people wondering how's he going to handle second base. So
Right.
if that's fuel, great. Take care of business.
Well, it's all a matter of getting as many big bats as Craig Counsell can in the lineup, and you're going to weaken your defense a little bit. There's no doubt about that. Your range on the right side of the diamond is a little bit suspect with Shaw and Aguilar over there, but I mean you're going to have to give up a little bit of that to get those bats in the lineup. And other thing, turning that double play with his back to first base, that's going to be a challenge for him. He was working on that pretty hard in pregame workouts today before batting practice. Then you got the cutoffs and relays, different spots he's got to be in on those plays. So it'll get to him. He'll figure it out. It's going to take some time to feel comfortable out there.
2 balls, 1 strike to Eric Thames, who doubled and scored in the second inning, part of that 3-run second inning for Milwaukee. And he shoots this one through the right side of the base hit. Thames now 2 for 2.
Yeah, Eric doing a good job waiting back on that off-speed stuff. That changeup from Cueto. He doubled his first time up on a changeup. That was in the second inning. Here's another one. And able to find the hole. He threads the needle into the outfield.
Right through the shift goes Thames. So already the Brewers with 7 hits off Johnny Cueto. A strike to Eric Thames, or excuse me, to Eric Kratz. RBI single. The Brewers catcher. Now 3 for 5 in this series, plus a walk is Kratz. Talk about former Royals. You throw Cueto in there as well. Remember, part of that championship team in 2015. Spun a complete game 2-hitter against the Mets.
Man, this guy, one of the best right-handers in the business when he was on the top of his game. Dealing with some elbow issues.
Thames is running. Kratz, no comebacker, no play at second. That's the second out of the inning. With 2 outs, a runner in scoring position. Orlando Arcia will come to the plate. Speaking of Arcia, time now for StatCast, powered by AWS. He's busting it up the line, 85 miles per hour, but he's able to leg it out. The hit probability pretty low there, and able to leg out an infield single.
Yeah, Hanson playing up the middle, just couldn't get there and not able to get much on the throw.
RBI opportunity here for the Milwaukee shortstop. His first 3 at-bats on Thursday night were tough. He was a strikeout victim in each of those opportunities. That was his first game back being called up. But then he hit the ball hard his last 2 at-bats on Thursday. Good night last night at the plate. And a good night tonight as that one gets through a base hit. Here comes Eric Thames as Orlando Arcia with an RBI single. It's 4-0 Brewers here in inning number 4.
How about the Brewers with runners in scoring position tonight? Now 3 for 3. All 4 RBIs, and well, you start getting production out of Orlando Arcia. This offense is going to be in high gear for sure. Just needs to get a little confidence going. Breaking ball down the middle, but it was around the knees, but Orlando able to bang it into center field. Brewers on the board once again. A 2-out single.
Elise Chassin, foul ball. The Brewers 6, 7, and 8 hitters 2 times through are now 5 for 6. A couple of RBIs. In 4, all 4 the runs scored.
See, that's the thing. I mean, pitchers are going to spend so much time in the top 6 in his batting order, and you kind of feel like you could take a deep breath a little bit. So if, Pena, Kratz, Arcia, they start swinging the bats, it's going to be awfully difficult 1 through 8 with this batting order.
That is the case in the early going tonight. Chassin laid down a sacrifice bunt his first trip to the plate. been presented with this 4-run lead. A ball, a strike. Wrap up the series here tomorrow afternoon, then it's off to Los Angeles. 4 games at Dodger Stadium. Brewers will see the Dodgers again, having just faced them in the last homestand.
Nothing wrong with their offense.
No, not at all. Machado's fitting in okay. They lead the Braves right now in the 8th inning, 3-1 through the Dodgers. Go down to first. Arcia drifting a bit, but gets back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Yoeli Chacín. With Hundley behind the plate. Buster Posey not in the lineup here tonight. Already some bullpen activity. Ty Block up and throwing for the Giants. One of 3 left-handed options for Bruce Bochy.
Cueto's having a rough month of July. He's made 3 starts before tonight. A .635 earned run average in those 3 starts, and Brewers already have gotten 4 runs on the board here on him in the first 4 innings.
Those starts, his first 3 starts since coming off the DL. His last appearance before his return on July 5th came against the Dodgers in late April. This is what Rock's talking about. He has been roughed up. The Brewers getting to him early tonight. And Cueto has now run the count full to Yoeli Chacín. There's the difference before the elbow trouble came to light with Johnny Cueto. Chacín making Cueto work here, extending the at-bat. That's what you want to do as a pitcher. Get the ball in play if possible, but extend the at-bat. Pitch number 9 coming up from Cueto. And Chacín hits this in the air to center field. Plenty of room for Duggar. And that'll do it for Milwaukee in the 4th, but another scoring inning for the Brew Crew. Orlando Arcia with a couple of hits tonight. This RBI single back up the middle, scoring Eric Thames, and it gives the Brewers a 4-0 lead.
Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Woo!
Who's that guy, Rod?
Wow, that's pretty fancy.
Wow.
How did you do that, Matty?
I've been working on my BA imitation. You think you like it?
That's pretty good. That's better than BA himself.
BA will be back in the Brewers booth Friday, the homestand beginning against the Colorado Rockies. We just like to throw you a curveball every now and then.
Yeah, just make sure you're all paying attention.
That's a letdown. If you were tuning in, all of a sudden you go from BA's voice to mine. Oh. BA will be back in the homestand, or part of it anyway. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, got a lot going on. We're glad to have him when we can get him in the booth.
He could carve out a little time for us. Andrew McCutchen leading things off here for the Giants, sitting at the top of the order. Remember a couple of years ago, Clint Hurdle moved him up, not to the very top, but he's primarily been in the third spot in the lineup in his career. But toward the end of his time in Pittsburgh, Hurdle moved him up to second, just trying to squeeze out an extra at-bat. A run-producing player like McCutchen, who takes a look at a called third strike. Chassin earns the bottom of the zone for out number one.
Didn't even swing the bat. Yeah, perfect pitches by Chassin. This one down and in, and Kratz holds it there nicely. Catches him looking, and McCutchen never did swing the bat. There was a point in time, what was it, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, where Clint Hurdle put him down at number 7 spot. He started to get hot, then moved him back up.
There's Steven Duggar. Yeah, Bochy trying to do anything he can to shake up this lineup. Chassin pounding the zone here, 0-2 the count.
Well, he's just catching the edges right now. Look at that, down in the zone. Ryan Blakeney, a pitcher's umpire tonight. Not that time.
Yeah, at least got a very generous corner in the first inning, well off the plate. That's close. You might want to swing away. 1-2 pitch. Working inside.
That's the two-seamer, the four-seamer for Chassin. They throw that splitter every now and again, a curveball.
Tried to backdoor the breaking ball, but missed, and a full count to the Giants center fielder. Brandon Crawford, the shortstop, is on deck. Here's the payoff pitch, and again with the breaking ball, missed just below the knees, and a one-out walk. Second base runner of the night for the Giants.
And manage your dream team and begin your run toward the playoffs with the all-new franchise mode in RBI Baseball 18. Rated E for everyone, RBI Baseball puts you in control of all the action. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
One out, one on here for the Giants. Young man taking it all in here tonight. Young man, young girl here at the ballpark on a beautiful Saturday night. Crawford bounced one back to Chassin in the first inning. Giants still without a hit. Crawford putting together a very nice year. 285 his average, on base percentage at 353. Up in the All-Star team for the second time in his career. Ball a strike. Duggar the runner at first. And Crawford sends one to left field. Plenty of room for Eric Thames. And that's out number 2.
Yep, got it on the label a little bit. Easy fly out on the breaking pitch. This is not a ballpark where you can get one on the handle and knock it out of the ballpark. Maybe if you get him down the line, maybe. Wind's blowing out the left tonight, but not sure how much help that's going to be.
Yeah, it shifted a little bit during batting practice. It was kicking out toward right field. Here's Evan Longoria. And a bouncer to Mike Moustakas. That'll do it for the Giants in the fourth. We are through 4. Chassin and the Brewers leading 4-0.
As we head to the 5th inning here in San Francisco, time now for T-Mobile's Built for Baseball, a series that Brewers fans are keeping a close eye on at Busch Stadium as the Cardinals are hosting the Cubs, and Marcell Ozuna would help the Cardinals get on the board here early with a grand slam to center field in the first inning off of Jose Quintana. That would give them a 5-0 lead, a lead that they would not relinquish. Javi Baez would homer in the game as well, and the Cardinals would win it 6-2.
And Sophia, and with that, the Brewers 1 game behind. Top of the order and a new pitcher on the mound for the Giants. Yelich will lead off. Ty Block now on the mound.
They began the season in the starting rotation. They went 3-5 with a 5 earned run average and was moved to the bullpen. Appearance number 31. He has been roughed up as of late. He's given up 8 runs over his last 9 appearances.
Yeah, hitters 12 for their last 26 against the lefty. 2 strikes to nothing, lefty versus lefty here as Yelich sends one in the air, left center field. It's hit well, and it is gone. A home run for Christian Yelich, number 15 on the year, and it's 5-0 Milwaukee.
Man, this guy is just unbelievable. I mean, the way he's been swinging the bat now since the All-Star break. Craig Counsell's been trying to figure out a time to give him a day off, but he just can't do it. I mean, if Counsell would ask him if he wanted a day off, he'd look at him, are you crazy? I want to stay in the lineup. I'm swinging the bat. 15th home run, Powerball home run count, another home run off a left-handed pitcher. Nothing seems to bother this guy right now. 2 hits, 3 RBIs tonight. Goodness.
Oh, you're right about that. Matter righty or lefty, he is punishing opposing pitchers.
Yelich hitting .354 against lefties coming into tonight's game.
Yep, that's his 4th big fly against left-handed pitchers this season. And that is ripped off the bat of Lorenzo Cain. The Brewers continue in all-out attack mode against Giants pitching here tonight.
10 hits already, 5 runs on the board, and Ty Block's problems continue. First 2 hitters barreling him up, fastball in, and Lorenzo able to back leg it Hits a line drive in the left.
Here's Mike Moustakas. 0 for 2 is Moustakas, a fly ball to center and a pop-up in the third inning, making his Brewers debut.
Yeah, long day for Moustakas today, right? I mean, flew in from New York today and got here about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the starting lineup.
A lot of adrenaline. Not much in the way of sleep, but a whole lot of adrenaline. Just excited to be back into a pennant race. 0-2 the count. Look out. Moustakas has had to deal with some sporting adversity, if you will. His 2016 season ended early, tore up his leg. Season-ending knee injury in a collision with Alex Gordon, then came back and was comeback player of the year last year. Gets his first hit as a Brewer here tonight, and motoring over to third is Lorenzo Cain as the first 3 Brewers have reached off Ty Block in the 5th.
Yeah, Block not throwing the ball all that hard and leaving a lot of pitches up in the strike zone. That's got to feel good for Moustakas. Got that first hit out of the way as a Brewer, and he does it against a lefty. Hey, curveball, you see the grip. He gets it away, but he leaves it up, and Moustakas able to hit it hard into the hole and into right field. Lorenzo Cain never slowing down around second base.
Eleven hits for the Milwaukee Brewers here tonight to go with those 5 runs. They're at the corners for Jesus Aguilar. Couple of ground balls for Aguilar, including a double play ground ball in the 3rd inning. Johnny Cueto went the first 4. Gave up 4 runs on 8 hits. Oh, 0-2 the count to Aguilar. And Jesus muscles one out into right field, a base hit. Moustakas to third. Coming home ever so casually is Lorenzo Cain. It's now 6-0 Milwaukee.
And Moustakas holds up at second base. I think he was looking at Eddie Cedar, and Eddie held him up, I think. But how about an 0-2 base hit for Jesus Aguilar? He got a fastball in, eats him up inside, but strong enough to muscle it into right field. Moustakas was thinking about going to third base, but I think Eddie held him up. And Lorenzo just finally able to score.
How many feet per second would that be? We'll have to look that up.
Put StatCast on that. Brewers 4 for 4 runners in scoring position tonight.
Well, they're 4 for 4 in this inning off Ty Block. Doing some work. Well, last night the Crew 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, but got the job done anyway in a 3-1 victory. Here's Travis Shaw. Looking for his first hit. And OPS still better than 800 for Travis Shaw. His first opportunity at second base. He has fielded 1 ground ball cleanly. It was part of a shift. He was actually on the left side of the bag at second. And Shaw sends one to Pablo Sandoval. There's Crawford for 1, and that's all they're going to get. Aguilar is erased. Moustakas to third. 1 out with runners at first and third. 6 on the fielder's choice. One away for Eric Thames. The order has done a lot of damage here tonight. 6, 7, and 8 spots.
And 5 for 6, 2 RBIs. They've scored 4 runs. That's not bad.
Eric's night at the plate, presented by Wendy's. A second inning double and a 4th inning single. Going around to score in both innings. Six runs on 12 hits now for Milwaukee. Nothing across for the Giants. Rock mentioned Ty Block has been both a starter and now out of the bullpen. It was a similar role last year. Bit of a swing man. 34 games, 24 of which were starting assignments.
12 starts this year. I've not seen much velocity so far tonight.
Moustakis getting his first hit as a Brewer. Travis Shaw, the runner, over at first. The strike 3 call, catching the outside edge on Thames for out number 2.
Yeah, it looked like it had the corner. Thames doesn't think so. Yeah, it looked like a strike right on the outside part of the plate.
That was the first strikeout for Giants pitching tonight. 2 away for Eric Kratz. Ground ball to Evan Longoria. That'll do it for Milwaukee in inning number 5, but the Brewers again get on the scoreboard. A couple of runs. It starts with Christian Yelich going the other way off Ty Block. Number 15 on the season for Yelich. It's now 6-0 Brewers in the 5th.
To nothing lead over the Giants here in the 5th at AT Park. And year after year, Brewers Community Foundation proudly serves as a catalyst for good in the Wisconsin community, and the Brewers fans in particular play a big part in supporting local children and their families. So BCF thanks you for your ongoing support during the season.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Yolis Chassin ready to have at it against Pablo Sandoval. It's Sandoval, Hansen, and Gorkys Hernandez in the home half of the 5th. Through the first 4, Chassin has hit a batter and walked one, and that has been it. While the offense has gone to work for Milwaukee. In the air, left field, long run, and a foul ball. Not by much, but a foul ball.
I think it's tricky down those lines with the bullpen mound in play. You know, they built this park, one of the most beautiful ballparks in all of baseball, but they forgot one thing, the bullpen. And right at the last minute, they said, I guess we'll put him in foul ground. The only ballpark, new ballpark, that has the bullpen in play.
2 strikes and nothing to Pablo Sandoval.
You think about the ballparks that have the bullpen mounds in play. Got Oakland.
Yep.
Here, Wrigley.
Used to at Wrigley, but not anymore.
Oh, that's right. They're under the bleachers. You're right.
In Oakland, you have foul ground for days, though, right? I mean, that's the humongous area in foul territory.
That's right. The bullpen's under the stands in the outfield at Wrigley Field. How could I forget that? There it is.
Home of the red-hot swinging A's. O.Co. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Sandoval, the ground ball to Moustakas, a bobble, but a recovery, and out number 1.
The Oakland Coliseum. Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Top Hat Bar in Stevens Point, if they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Stevens Point.
They have operators standing by even on a Sunday.
Ready to take your call.
If you don't answer, leave a message.
Have it upon good authority that Stevens Point, UW Stevens Point, the alma mater of our producer Dan Keener. We went through Stevens Point. I did not see any home of Dan Keener.
No statues or anything?
I was disappointed. I was let down. Director Renardo Lowe, though, will be consoling Dan and directing the broadcast tonight.
Renardo's got a number of statues in Atlanta.
Oh, absolutely. Breaking ball, nabbing the outside edge. Ball 2 strikes to Alan Hansen. Hansen grounded to Aguilar in the second. He looks at a called third strike here in the 5th. 2 up, 2 down.
How good has he been on the edges tonight? On the edges, down around the knees. It's been incredible to watch him. Right at the bottom of the strike zone, that late movement, that comeback two-seamer. Check it out. Starts off the plate, ends up catching the inside corner. Left-handers can't give up on that pitch.
2 away for Gorky's Hernandez. Slider for a strike. Hernandez grounded to Aguilar in the 3rd inning. Release with a 1-strike pitch. Mentioned Chassin with very good numbers in this ballpark. And off to a very impressive start here tonight.
Well, this is definitely a ballpark where you can be aggressive in the strike zone. You get a little bit of the plate, you keep it from gap to gap, and you're in pretty good shape. Down the lines they can get you, but it's a tough ballpark to hit them out.
And a strikeout of Hernandez. Back-to-back strikeouts in the 5th for Yoeli Chassin. He is spinning a beauty here so far tonight. He's pitching well. The offense helping him out. 6-0 Brewers after 5. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Beautiful scene here in San Francisco, and that's a pretty looking score so far for the Brewers. A 6-0 lead as Orlando Arcia leads off. Ty Block remains in there, his second inning of work for the Giants. 2 hits and as many at bats for Arcia. RBI knock in the 4th inning. Trying to regain confidence. That's what Craig Counsell was talking about at the beginning of this series when Arcia was called back up from Colorado Springs, where he hit the ball well in AAA. He has a 4-pitch walk to begin the 6th. Counsell was telling reporters you're not going to see anything dramatically different in terms of mechanics. Just try to get a little confidence back.
And a little bit of a reset, right? Just kind of start from ground zero and, mentally more than anything.
Chacin pushes one up the first base line, and that'll get the job done. One away as Arcia moves to second.
And with Arcia, like just about every hitter, when you're struggling, you're swinging the pitches out of the strike zone. He was doing a lot of that. Recognizing ball and strike, the most important thing for any hitter, and Orlando really scuffling with that before he got sent down the second time. Important that he hits enough because he's going to be relied upon a lot for a lot of the range up the middle as the Brewers set their defense these days with Travis Shaw at second base.
And as every Brewers fan knows, Orlando can cover a ton of ground. Christian Yelich at the plate. His red hot ways continuing tonight. 12-game hitting streak now. Single and a long ball tonight. Arcia is running, and the throw down is in time as Arcia cut down, trying to steal third with Yelich at the plate. That's out number 2.
That's for sure. That's a good idea with the way Yelich has been swinging the bat. You got the top of the order up. You're already in scoring position. I think he took off because he saw Longoria way off the bag. But he was able to get there, and I don't know. You get him?
That's close. Looked like he was doing a pretty good job of skipping rope there.
They're still looking at it. Nope, they're going to play on.
It's the look of a manager who may not have been real thrilled with that attempt, as we suggested. 2 strikes and nothing to Yelich.
You get to the bottom of the order, and you might think about doing something like that. But when you're at second base and 1 out, you got your top of your order coming up. You just stay put.
Especially with the hottest hitter around at the plate. The 1-2 pitch scoots him back. The average now sitting at 320 for Yelich. .15 homers and 55 RBIs. Among the leaders in several categories. OPS now over 900. The 2-2.
Came into play 4th in the National League in batting average. He's behind Nick Markakis, Dickerson, Scooter Gennett, and then Yelich at 317, but now he's up over 320.
Here's the 3-2. A chance for Brandon Crawford. That'll do it for the Brewers here in inning number 6. 6-0 Milwaukee here in San Francisco. has been lively tonight. Yolis Chassin, though, is spinning a beauty here, Rock.
Yeah, he's really been staying out of the heart of the plate. I mean, working on the edges, using the back of the plate, that two-seam fastball, comeback two-seamer. The curveball has been outstanding. He's been on the edges, down in the strike zone all night, and has really not allowed the Giants to get a good swing on him yet.
We'll see his line of hit batsmen as well. That was how his night started. He clipped Andrew McCutchen. It was caught stealing, and then Stephen Duggar walked in the fourth. It's 8-9-1 for the Giants. Nick Hundley leads things off, and a breaking ball is in there for strike one. This is Hundley's second year with the Giants. Half dozen years with the Padres. More recently, a couple with the Colorado Rockies. There's the 0-2 pitch.
That curveballs have been down right at the knees or down below the knees. That's where you want it. You don't want to hang those. A lot of movement on the fastball tonight.
The alignment for the Giants catcher gets a call for Buster Posey this evening. The 1-2. Only with 8 homers this year in 54 games. He's driven in 24. A steady diet of breaking balls here from Chassin.
Kind of went with a quick pitch right there on Hundley. Saw Hundley shaking his head, nodding his head, saying, "Yep, you almost got me." And I was able to foul it off.
Takes a page from Johnny Cueto. Loading up again, the 2-2 pitch. Check swing as he stays alive. Hundley's best year in terms of run production came as a Padre 5 years ago. 13 homers, drove in 44. Appeared in 114 games that season. He's battling Chassin here to lead off the sixth, and a nice catch. Fans come prepared. Bring the glove.
Yeah.
Get an opportunity.
First row of the second deck. Nice play. You don't want to be leaning out too far, though.
No. You want the ball to come to you. 2-2 pitch again. And that is belted into left field. And Eric Thames will not have a play. That's out of here. First hit, first run of the night for the San Francisco Giants. He has shown some pop this season when called upon. You saw that. That's his 9th of the year, and this is his 55th game.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes that he has made right there. It looked like a cut fastball that stayed up. Hasn't done too much of that. Nice short swing by Hundley, and I think he knew he got it. And so much for the no-hitter, so much for the shutout. All that wiped away with one swing of the bat. Big fly for Nick Hundley.
Ty Block will go ahead and hit. Bochy just looking for his long man to continue in that role here tonight. So a 6-1 game. The Giants, unlike the Brewers, are a team that doesn't hit a whole lot of home runs. And Hundley's big fly gets San Francisco on the scoreboard.
Yeah, no surprise playing here.
Right. 2-2 pitch.
As well as he hit that baseball in that hanger. Made it out by what, 2 rows? That was it. That was so surprising about that home run Yelich hit opposite field.
left center.
Block a strikeout victim. One away in the 6th.
Hey, brace yourself. Winter is coming to Miller Park. The Brewers will host a Game of Thrones night on Tuesday, August 7th. And each special theme night ticket package includes a seat to the game, plus a Corey Knebel King of the North bobblehead. Learn more at brewers.com/theme nights. You a Game of Thrones guy?
You know what? I'm a little late to the party there. I know you are.
I am.
Right?
Love it. Yep. But I was late to the party on that too. But
Yeah.
I caught up quickly.
Gonna
That's
need
one
to
of
do
those
that.
binge shows, you know.
You can start watching.
It's worth it.
I've heard that.
And then you'll understand the King of the North, Corey Knebel bobblehead.
It'll make sense then. That's good. It's a good looking bobblehead, though, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Ball 2 strikes to Andrew McCutcheon. McCutcheon tonight hit by a pitch and struck out looking. That never left his shoulder in the 4th. He was jumping on the first pitch pretty consistently last night. A little bloop, and Travis Shaw is right there to squeeze it for out number 2.
Another good pitch for Chassin. Two-seamer, ate him up inside. Boy, one mistake, right? We got a cutter that stayed up, out over the plate, and Hundley didn't miss it. One of the few times he's had a lot of the plate.
Hunter Pence looking on there. He's been a regular in this ball club for a long time. More of a reserve role for the Giants. Chassin facing Steven Duggar with 2 outs and the bases empty. Brewers have out hit the Giants 12-1. Duggar to left field. Thames will play it on a bounce. And there's hit number 2 for the Giants. The 6th inning will continue.
Good piece of hitting by Duggar. Watch this pitch going away from him. Stays right on it. We saw him do that last night. Stays on the ball nicely. Just dumps it out there in front of Thames, playing deep.
Two away for Brandon Crawford. And that's in the dirt. Duggar down to second, and Kratz will throw him out. Boy, you got to wonder what Duggar's thinking. Kratz says thank you very much.
Horrible base running. What are you thinking?
Man.
Wow, down by 5. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Erik Kratz throwing out a couple of base runners tonight. Duggar trying to get greedy. Erik Kratz having none of it. Giants getting their first 2 hits in the bottom of the 6th, and then a base running blunder. A Badger Mutual Insurance play of the game here. Stephen Duggar getting greedy.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, down by 5. I mean, if Crawford knocks one out of here with Duggar on first base, all of a sudden we got a game. It's a 6-3 game, but you know, trying to be a little over aggressive. You know, game situation will dictate how aggressive you have to be. No reason for him to try and take that extra base.
Lorenzo Cain, 3 singles tonight. Leads off here in the top of the 7th. 3rd inning of work now for Ty Block. Put up a couple of runs in the 5th. Curveball drops in there for strike 2. Cain, Moustakas, and Aguilar. Now the 2-2. The curve is away. Block was a 5th-round pick back in 2012 by the Giants. 27 years old as Cain wraps a ground ball to Brandon Crawford for out number 1. Let's check in with Sophia Miners.
Well, someone that knows the newest Brewer, Mike Moustakas, very well is obviously his former teammate Lorenzo Cain. They made 2 World Series appearances together and won it all in 2015. And so he described Moustakas as just one of those ultimate competitors. He says he's definitely a leader in the clubhouse. And he said he's one of those guys who was not afraid to say something if something needs to be said. A guy that's going to go out there, play hard, give it your all. He said he may yell at you, fire guys up, motivate you, but he said that just shows who he is, and certainly a leader in this clubhouse and brings a lot of playoff experience to this team.
And a lot of good numbers, run production to go with it as he hammers one foul. A couple of former Royals there, Cain and Mike Moustakas.
And that's something you don't see a whole lot of in baseball these days. I mean, a guy's not afraid to come up on a teammate if he feels as though he might maybe taking a few too many days off. You can see where you know, Moustakas ranks.
Comebacker for out number 2.
All he wants to do is win, Mike Moustakas, and you know, is there anything more important than that, right?
The whole idea, and you saw the postseason experience there, Cain and Moustakas right there, and now the former Royals. You know, we talk about those top 2 guys, but remember Joakim Soria, Eric Kratz. Talked about him a lot with being the Phillies and the Pirates, with Pena and Jeffress. The 2 ball clubs have done a fair amount of business in the last several years.
Yeah, big Zach Greinke deal back in 2011. Yeah, coaching staff over in Kansas City, Ned Yost, Dale Swaim. You got Jason Kendall, who's a coach over there on an interim basis. He goes down on the field every now and again. You talk about a guy that all he wanted to do was win. The gamer, Jason Kendall.
Tough guy, right?
Don't get in his way when he's trying to win a game.
2 balls, 1 strike to Jesus Aguilar. RBI single for Aguilar in the 5th inning. Hitters count for Aguilar against Ty Block. A wave and a miss.
He wasn't about to give him a fastball there, was he?
No.
A little curveball. 3-1. If he walks, so be it.
And he looks at a called 3rd strike, burning the inside corner is Block, and the Brewers go down in order. Jesus didn't like it. Looked like it did catch the inside edge. Stretch time. Brewers lead by 5. California in late July. You know, there's a famous line that they mention, and I'm not going to go there because it's been mentioned 8 million times. If you want to be 8 million and one, go ahead.
No, we said we weren't
You know.
going to say the old Mark Twain line.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I'm just saying there's an old line.
Have people
you know?
look it up. Mark Twain, San Francisco.
Absolutely. You may have heard it a time or two. You bundle up, you still get out in the boat. A shot of that a moment ago, but yeah.
It was nice and warm over in Sausalito today.
Are you over there today?
Yeah, I went over there, over the Golden Gate. And it's amazing. About halfway over the Golden Gate Bridge, the sun comes out. It's about 15 degrees warmer.
There is a sun.
A ton of bikes out today.
Oh, a lot going on. There's a lot going on here tomorrow. Big marathon. Now, if you're ever out here, you definitely want to check the box here at AT Park. It's not that cold. Come on, if you're from Wisconsin, you can handle this better than those folks. But yeah, go over to Sausalito.
Yeah,
that's a cool area. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, driving around there, we were told that we drove by one of Janis Joplin's early homes that she purchased. Yes.
Okay.
You remember her, right?
I do.
Got to be of a certain age to remember that name, but
we're in that group.
Went to a restaurant today that they were telling us that Robin Williams was a busboy.
Really?
In the early days.
Wow.
Yeah. Little culture for you today.
That's important. Yeah, you're gathering all kinds of information. Look out to Brandon Crawford. Well, yesterday we were over near Joe DiMaggio's old stomping grounds, North Beach area. Get in a good workout walking around here.
Yeah, a lot of hills.
That's absolutely.
You get the burn going.
Yeah, get that heart rate up. Crawford pops this one up, drifting out is Shaw over the shoulder, making the catch.
Yeah.
And Lorenzo Cain appreciates out number one.
Yeah, he had that one measured all the way. He kind of drifted back there. He never took his eye off of it and made a nice play. He said, what's the big deal about this second base thing? Of course, he made plays like that over at third base. Little jam shot off the bat of Crawford, and watch how far Travis Shaw has to go to get that. He's the only one who had a chance to get it. That's a heck of a play.
That was impressive. That was a big football fan, looking like a wide receiver out there. Over the shoulder catch. Evan Longoria now at the plate. And he did not like that call. First time at second for Shaw, if you're just joining us tonight. Handling everything so far. 2 strikes and nothing to the Giants' third baseman.
I guess, turning the double play and some of the cutoffs and relays are a little bit tricky for a middle infield. I mean, Travis has been playing these kind of positions all year long with the shifts.
All third strike, breaking ball gets Longoria. 2 up, 2 down in the 7th.
Just another pitch that is just literally right on the corner. Check this out. And Ryan Blakeney's been calling that pitch tonight, helping him out. A lot of times those borderline pitches like that are not called, but he's getting them tonight.
He got one right away in this ball game, and Chacin has just been terrific.
This is one of the best pitching performances that we've seen tonight from a Brewers pitcher, staying out of the middle of the plate. I mean, everything on the edges, down in the strike zone, inside corner, outside corner. He really hasn't been flirting with the upper portion of the zone at all. The only time he did really, Hundley hit a homer.
Really got hurt by it as Sandoval at the plate. And he's behind in the count 0-2. Soft liner and a ground ball from Pablo Sandoval tonight.
Seems like every hitter for the Giants has been down in the county either 0-2 or 1-2.
Here is the 1-2. First 3 starts of the year for Chassin were very, very choppy, and then he turned things around. Had a very impressive performance against the Marlins. Went into Kansas City, pitched well. There's a liner down the line. That's going to be extra bases for Pablo Sandoval. Going down there to get it is Christian Yelich, and it's a 2-out double for Sandoval.
The second hit, both of them extra bases. And that four-seam fastball up and in. Looked like Sandoval waiting for it. Tucks it inside the right field line. A 2-out double.
Yes, that was pitch 103. Delivered by Yolis Chassin. That is a season high. Go back to that Marlins game in April.
Bullpen busy for the Brewers down the left field or the right field line.
Taylor Williams getting loose. He was up in the bullpen last night, but not needed on the mound. Soria, Jefferson, Knebel took care of things in a 3-1 win. Alan Hansen now at the plate. Here's the 1-0. Chassin has given up but 3 hits.
As dominant as the Brewers have been in this game, the Giants, still have life here. I mean, this game is not over yet. It's a 5-run lead. How many times have we seen a lead evaporate in the big leagues this year?
No doubt. 1-1 pitch. That was ripped foul.
We've seen some huge leads evaporate in baseball this year.
Yeah, we've seen the Brewers come back. A big deficit in Colorado a couple months ago really stands out. But we have, you're right, seen a number of late game rallies from deficits more than this. Chassin trying to bear down. He has pitched a beautiful game to this point, trying to get through this 7th inning. Pitch number 107 of the night coming up. The 1-2 in the air to left field. Thames is there. Side retired. Sandoval's double results in no damage. Chassin gets through inning number 7. Getting a little defensive work from the Brewers' second baseman, Travis Shaw, over his shoulder. No problem. All right, Daria, thank you very much. Top of the 8th inning, Travis Shaw leads off. Ty Block remains on the mound, his 4th inning of work. Dario updating you on what the Pirates did today. As the Pittsburgh club is working its way into the fray in the wild card chase. 1-1 pitch to Shaw, a little comebacker, and this will be out number 1 in the 8th. That's what we're talking about. You have a lot of teams in the fight. It doesn't necessarily end there with the Cardinals. Cardinals trying to pick things up, made the managerial change for the All-Star break, but it's getting crowded.
Yeah. A lot of teams have a shot. A lot of baseball to be played over 2 months.
This will be fun baseball, high stakes baseball. In the American League, you really have 6 right now battling for 5 spots. The Oakland A's have fought themselves back into the mix. There's Eric Thames with a chopper over to Sandoval, who cannot handle it. And Eric Thames is aboard with 1 out. That'll be an error charge to Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah, just not sure what happened there, but certainly a play that is pretty routine for a first baseman. He shovels the baseball like he has it, but it never really had it. The hands go up, but there's no baseball there. Just dropped it.
Here's Eric Kratz, and that is sharply hit into left field, a base hit. And that's the 2nd hit of the night for Kratz. A couple of 2-hit performances for Kratz in this series.
We're just trying to find a catcher that's going to start getting hot at the plate. Kratz has been swinging the bat well, driving in some runs. Kratz with an RBI tonight. And fastball down and in, and drops the head of the bat on it. Whistles one into left field.
Giants have had bullpen activity, and Bruce Bochy is going to go ahead and make the move. He gets 3 1/3 from Ty Block out of the pen. Ray Black will come in. 6-1 Brewers, 1 out and 2 on in inning number 8. Stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by T-Mobile. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. Well, tonight here in San Francisco, they honored some of their all-timers in the Walk of Fame. Matt Cain, Ryan Vogelsong, and Brian Wilson. Without the beard, by the way, Brian Wilson.
Hey, you never recognize him without that beard, but all 3 of those guys could get some outs. How about Matt Cain? He'd probably still be pitching had he not gotten hurt. Arm problems.
Brewers had their night on Tuesday A lot of fun at Miller Park Rock, and they're a big part of that. The Walk of Fame and the Wall of Honor. Additions. Ray Black now on the mound.
Yeah, 8th appearance. He got called up on July 8th from AAA. Made his major league debut that day.
And on the move is Thames, and he had a freebie over there, and he went ahead and took it. Meanwhile, Arcia had taken a strike, and it's 0-2, but the Brewers have him at the corners.
Yeah, good idea for Orlando. Just let him go. You don't want to be fouling it off. I mean, that is about as easy as it gets. Nobody paying any attention to Thames.
Arcia RBI single here tonight, and he strikes out swinging here. First time he's been retired. 2 hits plus a walk, but Ray Black gets him swinging for out number 2.
We haven't seen a whole lot of velocity, but we saw a little bit right there.
Yeah,
98 up out of the zone. So there you go. That's pretty good arm.
Let's see, we'll get you that.
That's shades of Brian Wilson.
See a lot of that out of Ray Black. This is his debut season in the big leagues. Hernan Perez now pinch hitting. The night is over for Yoeli Chassin. Black tries a slider and misses. Thames at third. Eric Kratz at first. He was trying to punch across another run at least and extend the lead as we get late. Steady diet of upper 90s.
Yeah, that's just easy. 98 right there. Looks like it's effortless. Big dude.
Former Pitt Panther Ray Black.
This guy has been clocked as high as 104 miles an hour.
He had Tommy John surgery his senior year in high school. They say he blew out his arm during some showcase tournaments. Surgery worked. He's got that velo right back up there. 2 balls and a strike. Perez takes a look at a slider for strike 2. In college at the University of Pittsburgh, he set a school record strikeouts per 9, nearly 15 strikeouts per 9. 2-2 pitch. And on lays off.
You throw 100 miles an hour and you can throw that slider anywhere near the plate, you're going to have some success.
Full count. Kratz on the run. The pitch is in the dirt. It gets away from Hundley. Here comes Thames, and he is in. And it's 7-1 Milwaukee.
That's a big run right there. Got it back. The Brewers have their 6-run lead against them. Good aggressive base running by Eric Thames. Good job. So the error comes around to haunt the Giants. He gets a third on the stolen base, and Nick Hundley tries to backhand a fastball in the dirt. Thames with a good jump, and the Brewers with 7 runs on the board.
Good night for Eric Thames. Good night for several Brewers, including this guy, Christian Yelich. A couple of hits, including his 15th home run of the year. He was back in the 5th inning.
The bottom of the order have scored 6 runs tonight. Make that 5 runs. Thames got 3 of them. Kratz has scored a run. Arcia has a run.
You said you get 6, 7, and 8 getting that done, and the top part of the order, that's a nasty bunch that opposing pitchers have to deal with. Ball a strike to Yelich. That's a single. Perez a walk. It's the corner, and it's a ball, 2 strikes. Moustakas, 28 years old. Big dude, 6'5", 225. Ready with a 1-2 pitch.
What do you got, that tight end side? Tight end size, 6'5", 220.
Yeah, that's not bad. That would work. I mean, these days, some of them are a little bit heavier than that, but that's a good frame. Big dudes now.
Yeah.
College on up. You see what the Brewers have done. They have battered Johnny Cueto. A little damage off Ty Block. Run across here against Ray Black. Yelich, a swing and a miss. That'll do it for the Crew in inning number 8. Another run across, and the lead is 6. For Mike Moustakas, getting his first hit as a Brewer tonight. Brewers have been pounding out the hits tonight. Now Taylor Williams is on for the first time in this series after Yali Chassin with the first 7.
Yeah, it's been a while for Taylor. It's been since Tuesday against the Nationals back at Miller Park. 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit, also struck out a batter. Outstanding numbers for Williams. The hard thrower, 40th appearance. Good earned run average.
Facing the bottom of the Giants order, it begins with Gorkys Hernandez. Christian Yelich now moves over to left field. And on Perez, pinch hit. The top half of this inning remains in the game and right. What an outing by Chassin. 7 innings of 3-hit, 1-run ball. Third time this season Chassin has gone 7, middle of May against the Diamondbacks, and July 5th against the Braves. A slider.
Chassin's been terrific. I mean, as consistent as you can ask him to be, and he's been able to take the ball every 5 days. Puts the Brewers in really good position to win another game.
And they're 16-7 are the Brewers when Chassin has the starting call. Williams missing with the slider here. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hernandez. And followed by Nick Hundley and then a pinch hitter. Williams ready with a 2-2. Impressive component out of this Brewers bullpen. Young Taylor Williams, full count to Gorky's Hernandez. Hits it in the air to right field, and Hernan Perez puts it away for out number 1. I mentioned it, Chassin tonight, very, very impressive. You mentioned it, Rockies. Been burning the corners throughout the course of this game.
Yeah, just on the edges, down in the strike zone. He really didn't make too many mistakes. I mean, it seemed like he was ahead in the count just about the entire night. I don't think he had middle all night. I mean, the home run that Hundley hit was up and away a little bit. He hooked it, but really was outstanding. 3 hits, 1 run, 6 punch outs for Yoeli Chassin. Maybe his best outing of the year.
Breaking stuff very effective again. Big Hundley now at the plate.
Just incredible movement for Chassin tonight with the fastball. I mean, he cut it, he sunk it. And the 2-seam fastball catching the inside corner on those lefties. And Ryan Blakeney, the home plate umpire, was giving them those edges. That's the important part of this too.
And Chassin taking full advantage of that. As again, Williams gets the benefit of the doubt. And a strike is called to Hundley. It's 2 strikes and nothing. Giants with just 3 hits in the game and a strikeout of Nick Hundley for out number 2. Start for Taylor Williams here tonight as we check in again with Sophia Minutes.
Thanks, Matt. Well, thanks to Yoeli Chassin, 7 innings. It'll be a short night's work here for the Brewers bullpen. They did get Matt Albers back from the disabled list. He was there with a shoulder injury, so now the Brewers have an 8-man pen, and Craig Counsell saying he feels that really with the 8-man pen and just the depth of options, adding Soria yesterday, he said each night we feel like we have great options. So he said certainly getting Albers back is a huge help for this Brewers bullpen, and he said, you know, the way that they've managed the bullpen in terms of having so many guys come up and down from AAA, getting fresh arms, he said a lot of that was the function of having 7 relievers.
Hunter Pence pinch hitting with a fly ball out to right center, and Lorenzo Cain puts it away with no problem. A 1-2-3-8. Brewers lead 7-1. Through the height. Speak for yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock weekdays at 4 p.m. Central, only on FS1. tonight here for the Brew Crew through 8 innings, 7-1 Milwaukee. A lot of early damage against the Giants here tonight. Mark Melancon now on here for Bruce Bochy's Giants.
Yeah, Melancon had his problems first game of this series. That was on Thursday. 2/3 of an inning, a couple of runs, 4 hits. Velocity down from Melancon quite a bit. He's had some arm problems himself.
Lorenzo Cain, a 3-hit night, leading things off, and he has a 4-hit night as he goes right back up the middle. He's putting together some 4-hit games. Had one against the Nationals earlier in the week.
14 hits for the Brewers tonight. Fastball middle in, and that is just exactly what Cain likes to do. Pull those hands in and shoot it into center field. Beautiful swing for Lorenzo.
It was his 14th game where he has had 4 hits. 14th game in his career.
It's amazing what an off day can do, right?
Yeah, we well-rested Lorenzo Cain.
Took an offer on Thursday. Craig Counsell gives him yesterday off and comes up with 4 hits tonight. The genius of the Brewers skipper.
Everything's right.
Yeah.
He's punching all the right buttons right now. Funny how it works.
Those off days are big. I mean, you know, you get more out of an off day when your team has a game, when you be able to sit and watch, kind of just decompress a little bit. Those are more valuable, and you get more out of them than a team day off.
It's certainly been the case here with Lorenzo Cain. Well rested, refreshed, and a 4-hit evening. Here's Moustakas, a 1-1 count. With a 5th inning single in his first game as a Brewer.
I'd imagine he's going to get a good night's sleep tonight. Been a long day for him.
Cross-country flights getting into town just after noon. Melancon with a 1-2. Moustakas with that postseason experience. He's had some big moments in the postseason. A game-winning homer. 2014 divisional round, opening game of the series against the Angels. A terrific catch going into the crowd on a foul ball. A year later in the postseason, a swing and a miss here, and that's out number 1.
And Melancon with that cut fastball. He used to have a really good one with some velocity on it, but just not the sharp break on it that he used to have. Got to be frustrating for him. Throws the same pitch, but not nearly as much on it.
Premier relievers at his best, a 3-time All-Star. He's a saves machine for the Pirates there for a time, at 51 of them, in fact, in 2015. Jesus Aguilar, double play ground ball. Crawford, Hanson, and Sandoval will go ahead and apply the tag, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the 9th. Brew looking to close out their 3rd win of the series. Are up by 6. doing some early damage against Johnny Cueto as you take a look at this nice looking scoreboard. Brewers lead 7-1. They got the Cueto, who lasted but 4 innings in this game. 14 hits.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of good things to talk about. You know, you got Chassin, you got the Brewers offense, only 1 home run, good situational hitting tonight. Aggressive base running. Dan Jennings getting an opportunity. 50th appearance for Jennings. At 331 earned run average.
Face the top of the San Francisco batting order. Andrew McCutchen jumping on the first pitch. And a fly ball out to center field. Lorenzo Cain for out number 1. Let's check out Miller Lite's What's on Tap series wrap up tomorrow afternoon. Junior Guerra on the mound. Andrew Suarez will get the call for the San Francisco Giants. Brewers looking to close this one out and try to sweep this series. We'll get it covered tomorrow at 2:30 with Brewers Live here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Yeah, 6 innings for Junior, his first time out after coming off the disabled list.
Away here in the 9th inning for Steven Duggar. There's one of the 3 hits for the Giants tonight.
Interesting that before the game today, right before Brewers batting practice, Dan Jennings was throwing a bullpen down in the Brewers pen, down the right field line. Interesting that you would see a reliever do that. Of course, Jennings hasn't pitched since Tuesday. A little tune-up, maybe working on the slider. Who knows what he was working on, but not often you see a guy working the pen and pitching the game the same night.
That's exactly what Dan Jennings is doing here this evening, looking to finish this one off. I hope the Brewers to win number 61 this season. Jennings does not get the edge there on the slider. 2-1 to count. The win moves the Brewers within a half game of the Cubs in the National League Central. Cubs dropping a 6-2 decision to the Cardinals earlier this afternoon. Council's team trying to win the first 3 of this set with the Giants. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Steven Duggar. And that is out number 2. Slider gets Duggar.
Yeah, maybe that's what he was working on down in that pen. Yeah, that's the big pitch for Jennings when he's able to put that pitch right there to lefties. Awfully difficult to hit.
Two away with the bases empty for Brandon Crawford. A pop out in the 7th. That was the play that Travis Shaw went well onto the grass in right field. Nice over the shoulder catch by the now Brewers second baseman. Again, the slider in there for Jennings. Turns to the fastball. An impressive night of pitching all the way around for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Back-to-back nights.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, last night. Chase Anderson outstanding.
2-strike pitch. Chassin went 7 tonight. Taylor Williams a 1-2-3/8. Jennings retiring the first 2 in the 9th. Here's the 1-2. And that hit him, I believe. It did, yes. Second hit batsman of the night.
Yeah, slider right there, and maybe fastball. Up and in. got the hand pretty close to a swing.
Two away with Crawford the runner at first. And now Jennings will try to end this game by retiring Evan Longoria. Third game back for Longoria. Now with a broken bone in his wrist, hit by a pitch in the middle of June. And Longoria goes the other way, and that drops. That's going to get to the wall. Crawford rounding third. He'll be held there. A double for Longoria. There's the Giants still trying to punch. 2 outs in the ninth, down by 6.
Yep, they ain't over till it's over, as they say. Jennings hitting Crawford, then he throws a fastball. Hittable for Longoria down and away. Actually got middle of the plate down and able to hit it hard down the line and right.
So now Pablo Sandoval to the plate. On the right side of the plate where he hits this season a .148.
This guy used to be productive from both sides of the plate. Pablo Sandoval hitting nearly 280 coming in from the left side, 148 as a right-handed batter.
Oh, the power this year from the other side of the plate. And you see the career numbers for Sandoval. 0-1 the count. Make it 0-2. So the Giants down to their final strike. Crawford at third, Longoria the runner at second. 2 strikes and nothing to Sandoval. That almost got him, man. Down in the dirt.
They're trying to make that put-away pitch, a perfect pitch down in the zone, and a nice block by Kratz.
A ball, 2 strikes. Missing again. Just in case, the Brewers getting a little activity in that bullpen, starting to stir a bit. See if Jennings can put Sandoval away and give the Brewers their 3rd win of the series. Here's the 2-2. Whatever remains of Sandoval's career, he will be beloved forever here in San Francisco. Second time around here, the postseason magic. That's Joakim Soria looking on.
Well, he hasn't started to throw yet.
The 2-2.
If Sandoval reaches, he'll start to throw.
He was the first trade of the week for the Brewers. Coming over from the White Sox. Sandoval extending the at-bat as Jennings again getting ready for another 2-2 offering. And a bouncing ball to Orlando Arcia, and the Milwaukee Brewers have taken the first 3 games of this series. Terrific pitching once again, and the offense doing some early damage as the Brew Crew moving on, a 7-1 winner here tonight.
Boy, everything going well tonight. Offense was on the board early, and at least I've seen outstanding work. Probably his best start of the year.
7-1 Brewers, win number 61 on the season. Let's send it to our Fox Sports Wisconsin studio. Standing by is Dario Melendez with Brewers Live.